Well, hello, everybody. My name is Burnham, and I am very excited to welcome Joe here, who has graciously offered to give his testimonial for my online course, Energy Expansion 101. And Joe, I'm just going to start by asking you, what brought you to this course? What were you struggling with at the time?
I don't think it was necessarily a struggle thing, but it was as I was reading through the description, there was this moment where you talked about people being juicy. And I was like, I wanna like someday, like I want like in my everyday interactions, I want to be living from a place where people walk away and go, wow, he's juicy. And so I was like, I've got to dive into this and I've got to explore more of this and figure out more of what's going on that way and what does that mean and what might that look like and where does that sit.
Sure.
So yeah.
Well, that leads me to my next question, which is just what would you say were some of the takeaways that you got from the course?
I mean, at some level, I got held up at day one and just I haven't been able to move beyond day one, where it explores the chakras, and the idea of the top down processing versus the bottom up processing and those different ways, and realizing just how heavy I am on the top down processing, and also how often I get stuck at communication,
Mm.
and like nothing in the lower half of the body activates and involves, and so that would make sense that there's the appeal to juicy because so much of juicy comes up from below the throat, from below communication,
Right.
and in those other realms of who we are, and realizing that those, as you describe them in the course, like the wheels, they're all there, they're just, and they're active, they're just, they weren't functional and active in healthy ways for me. They were making themselves known in sort of some destructive ways,
Mm.
or over time have made themselves known in destructive ways.
Right. Yes. And were there any particular activities or directives that you liked more than others, or a particular one?
I think it was that the guided meditation and that invitation to sort of drop down and get beyond, um, get down into the root,
Mm.
just letting the seed drop through the body and move through, and landing in that space. And for me, it was really potent because the gut has been a place over time that feels like a dark, terrifying, scary space.
Mm.
It feels like this black hole of energy, but it also, I don't know, it's been a hard space for me. And so to land in that space and to see something fertile
Right.
and ground that is ready to grow and have this seed root, and it's actually started to really impact, not so much like in relationship, but even as I think about work and business projects and things that I want to do, it's really creating some shifts there, which I think in a sense it's living more from soul, which then turns around, and I think that probably makes me a juicier kind of person.
Yes. And so my last question for you would just be, if someone were considering taking the course and they're on the fence or they're looking for some guidance, what would you offer them?
We just say do it. I mean, it's that simple. It's is it is are there elements that are scary, or are there reasons that we hold back? If there's resistance, that's probably part of you, part of those lower chakras crying out and saying, do this. We need attention, we need some love, we were here for you. We just want to work with you, and so it's an invitation from them to step into the course. And so I would just say, be bold and know there's beautiful things on the other side.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for your testimonial. I'm so glad that was your experience.
Absolutely, it's fantastic. I'm looking forward to going back and actually doing the whole course again, just because I am so held up at this point. On day one, I feel like I did the other days, but I felt like I was still working through day one material. So
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your testimonial. I deeply appreciate it.
absolutely.